Saying Warner Brothers has just announced a rather full slate for all of their upcoming DC comic book movies. And just to run down briefly here, let's see what we got. Okay, so the very first DC movie that is going to come after Batman vs. Superman in 2016 is indeed Suicide Squad, being directed by Ayer. And they say they are currently in talks with this is their quote, 4 A-list actors for Suicide Squad. So it's like, okay, that's interesting. Going on beyond that, then in 2017, 2 more movies. Wonder Woman, they finally announced it officially, we're getting a Wonder Woman movie, and Justice League are going to be in 2017. In 2018 is going to be Aquaman, and Jason Momoa has finally confirmed that he is going to be Aquaman. And The Flash is going to be in 2018, and that is going to star Ezra Miller, who starred in There's Something About Kevin, which was he.
Oh, wow.
Amazing in, and Perks of Being a Wallflower, which he was also quite good in. In 2019, we've got Shazam with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Justice League 2. Now, they also said there are also going to be other Superman and Batman movies, but they, as far as I know, during that call, this was all announced during a shareholders call this morning with the CEO of Warner Brothers. As far as I know, they didn't give any dates for Superman, Batman, so that could mean there's not going to be any more standalone Superman or Batman films until 2020, or it could mean they have plans to drop 1 or 2 Superman and Batman films in this window between 2015 and 2019. They've also said a rebooted Green Lantern is coming. So that answers the question about whether Ryan Reynolds would be returning. I think most of us kind of knew deep down that he wasn't. I was kind of hoping he would, but we knew that he wasn't. They've also announced they're going to be doing a standalone Cyborg movie, but they don't have a date for it. Once again, not specifying if a Cyborg and a Green Lantern is going to be after in 2020 or later, or if it's going to be peppered into this existing calendar and we may get 3 DC movies a year, which would be psychotic. And they also, this makes real sense. In that conference call, the Warner Brothers CEO said they are going to be spending $2 billion a year in marketing all these films coming out. Lisa's doing the little Dr. Evil. $2 billion a year. Warner Brothers is all in.
Yeah.
I mean, they are all in, and they're going to be going gangbusters. Now, on top of all that stuff, new Harry Potter movies were announced. We knew about the Lego movies coming out, and then there's going to be all the great dramatic stuff that Warner Brothers puts out as well. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of crap here to talk about. I don't even know where to start, except, I don't know, let's start with this. I'm just pulling it out of thin air. Ezra Miller's going to be the Flash.
Yes.
Now, this puts the final, you know, we keep telling people, and yet people keep asking me, hey, so are they going to cross Green Arrow into the movie universe? Now, when are they going to bring the Flash from the TV show? And we keep telling them they're not. They've said forever they're going to keep their television and their movie universes separate, which, listen, is the one thing they have gotten far more right than Marvel has. This whole crossing TV into the movies, I almost swore, TV into the movie stupidity is just stupid. I mean, I've made my argument why I think keeping them separate gives far more creative freedom to the movie universe, far more creative freedom to the TV universe, so they could all do their own things. I think it's a far better way to do things, and that piece of garbage Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show is a testimony to that. Anyway, so this puts the final stamp on that. We've got a different actor playing Flash in the movies than we do, so that's really interesting. I don't know where to go. There's so much crap here to talk about. Schnepp, what's the first thing that really jumps out to you about all this stuff?
Well, number one, they finally announced it, which was great, because we're like, oh, they got all these movies. What is it going to be? So the thing that jumps out to me is they announced Zack Snyder is going to be directing Justice League 1 and 2, and that it's a 2-parter.
Did they?
Yeah, that's part of the announcement.
I didn't know
they confirmed.
I didn't realize he was going to. I think we knew he was going to do Justice League. I didn't know he was going to do Justice League 2.
Well, they're shooting them back to back, and they confirmed it's like, you know, number one drops in 2017, and the other one drops in 2019. So it's kind of cool to see that that's going to follow through. The other thing that really popped out to me is, where's Superman? Where's Batman? You got, you know, we're in 2014. They're announcing stuff for 2016, all the way to 2020. No Ben Affleck Batman movie. No Man of Steel 2. So you know that those are going to get slid in there. They're just like, Batman and Superman are going to be in Justice League 1 and 2, and they're probably taking a tip of the hat from Marvel. They're going to pop Batman into, Superman will probably be in the Aquaman movie. Batman might show up in Suicide Squad. Who knows how they're going to rock that? But, I mean, if they're doing a cinematic universe and it's all shared, they're going to be in these different movies, but I want a Batman movie with Ben Affleck. I haven't even seen the Ben Affleck version, but since I know it's like The Dark Knight, I'm all in, 100%. So when they announce that, that'll probably be next year, next Comic-Con. Oh, by the way, Man of Steel 2 and, Batman 1, 2, and 3, they'll announce how those fit in. I'm sure that'll happen.
Alicia, what stands out to you the most?
So excited about the casting of The Flash. Ezra Miller, he's not an actor I would have thought for that role, but he is incredible. We need to talk about Kevin. He was so creepy and then so lovable and sweet in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
He's got range.
He's got such great range. He's a really good actor, and that's something that Marvel has been doing well, is casting these good actors for these roles. So it's great that DC is also following that. I'm also excited about Suicide Squad because of David Ayer. I love Fury. It's fantastic, coming out this weekend.
Which, by the way, we have an AMC spoilers review for Fury coming out this Friday, so keep your eyes open for that.
Oh yeah, I'm all in with his gritty vision. He showed that with End of Watch 2, and it sounds like Suicide Squad, about supervillains, and hopefully Michael Pena will be in there because he loves
he
working
does like working with them.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Wonder Woman, great that she's got definitely confirmed, and that Momoa has been definitely confirmed. There's been so many rumors about it. So it's just nice to see an actual slate from them, and now we have so much to talk about over the next few years.
We got so much stuff over the next few minutes. So one of the things that stood out to me is really strange, though, in this announcement was Shazam in 2019.
It's a long way away.
5 years from now, and you're announcing The Rock in it already, and it's not for another 5 years?
He's going to be tweeting a lot over the next few years.
A lot of
confusing tweets.
I mean, so should we assume then that the Shazam movie, look, we still don't know if Shazam is going to be in his own cinematic universe or not, or if he's going to be in this, because remember, Shazam, while being distributed by Warner Brothers, is not actually being produced by Warner Brothers, it's being produced by their sub-company, not Legendary?
Is it Legendary?
Maybe it's Legendary.
No, they're
not
connected
Legendary.
anymore.
New Line? No. I can't remember.
I don't know.
It was one of the. Anyway, it's one of the other sub companies that is actually producing it. It's the first time they're going to be doing that. So we still don't know if he's going to be in his own cinematic universe. If he's not, and Shazam is going to be in the main DC cinematic universe, we got to assume he's going to pop up in a Justice League here or there. Why would you announce The Rock as Black Adam 5 years before you ever getting around to that movie coming out? Like, can you see any other alternatives to that?
That's a weird one, yeah. And The Rock is not playing Shazam, he's playing Black Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years is fine, I can wait,
He must pop in throughout it. Same with Cyborg. Cyborg's going to have his own standalone movie.
Cyborg's going to get
gonna
introduced
see it
in Batman v Superman. So it's one of those things where it's like they're going to introduce all these characters. Cyborg will be in Justice League and in Justice League 2, and then he'll get his standalone.
I think
so that's
really
what they're
smart.
Yeah, they're planning that. So I'm sure, whoever is going to be Shazam will probably be introduced in either Justice League or Justice League 2, just to introduce the character. Just sort of the way they're doing Wonder Woman, they're introducing her in Batman v Superman. Then I think, does Wonder Woman come out before Justice League?
I believe so, yes.
So then you have a little follow through. And all these characters, I don't know how many, if they did the same kind of 9-movie signage that Marvel did.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
So all these different actors can like weave through each other's movies,
I want to see who's Green Lantern this time around.
Yeah, that's now going to be a big question.
But I'm glad that they're giving him another movie, because I think the character deserved more than what he got.
Yeah, I mean, and start the onslaught of tweets that are going to be calling for Bradley Cooper to be the Green Lantern.
Right.
You know that's coming. One of the really smart things about this, and I've been saying this forever, is I've been having this argument with a lot of friends of mine that the way DC needs to go, I've been saying this for years, is the opposite of the Marvel route.
Yeah.
Don't do 7, 6, 4 origin stories first and then Avengers. I think for DC it was a smarter idea. Introduce a lot of these characters that otherwise a lot of people won't care about in their bigger movies, so that when you do their standalone movie, the audience is already familiar with them, they're already attached to them, they want to see it. I guarantee you, this Wonder Woman movie is going to be much bigger now than it would have been if they weren't introducing her in Batman Superman first.
Totally.
Cyborg becomes a possibility because they're going to be introducing him in Batman versus
Yeah,
Superman.
I agree. And people were talking about Wonder Woman's backstory, about
Right.
Zeus, and it sounds like they'll just introduce her, and then during her standalone movie, that's when you'll get to see her origin.
Right. Now, what do we think about the Jason Momoa confirming that he's Aquaman?
I think it's, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say. It was great.
I think it's fantastic. You know, like I read whatever the fake copy of Batman v Superman, which I know is real, and it's awesome. And there's a giant scene for whoever was going to be playing Aquaman, and I've known it's Jason Momoa, just like we've known for months, and that it's finally out of the bag. It's like, my only peeve would just be like, let's not call him Waterman. It's just a weird Aquaman. I know it's branded, but can't you call it King of Atlantis? Anything other than Aquaman?
I got a feeling they're going to go in the direction of, I don't even know if you're going to hear the word Aquaman spoken. I think he's going to be Arthur. I mean, that's what I think he's going to be.
They don't call him Aquaman in the script. He's never mentioned. He's just the ruler of Atlantis. He's commanding troops and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I think the title Aquaman is a little,
Yeah, but that's what he is, so you've got to call him that. I just don't know if they'll actually say it. They never called him Superman in Man of Steel, right? So they never did that, so I got a feeling that's the direction. I think it's great. I was one of the guys who, long time ago, I thought, well, if you're going to get... I was kind of for Jason Momoa playing Bruce Wayne / Batman. I thought he would have been... I thought he actually would have been pretty good. I think he's got better acting chops than people give him credit for.
He looks like a superhero.
He looks like a superhero. He's got, I mean, women swoon when this guy walks in the room, so he's got the Bruce Wayne thing down.
Yeah,
he's
got
obviously
the manliness.
big physical beast of a guy with actual combat training. I thought there was some upside to that, but don't worry. Like Aquaman, I think that's a very interesting thing. All right, let me look down this list again. Remember, guys, forgive me if we're a little bit scattered here. This literally hit just before I left to come into the studio. Well, let's talk just for a second about Green Lantern, okay? I'm one of the very few guys that I've always thought the problem with Green Lantern was not Ryan Reynolds. He wasn't the issue. He wasn't the problem. It was everything else that was built around that film. But even though I was saying I would like to see him come back as Green Lantern, it would present logic problems to have him there because there's inconsistencies with what they did in the film, with what the movie universe is. It is probably the smarter idea to reboot the character. Do we think they're going to introduce Green Lantern before his movie, or will the Green Lantern movie really be the introduction of Green Lantern?
I think they should save it because we've got the memory of Green Lantern, the other movie. I'd love them to just save it till he gets his standalone.
I think they're going to introduce not only Green Lantern, but the Green Lantern Corps in Batman v Superman. It's a subtle introduction, and I think that Green Lantern will be in Justice League. He'll be in Justice League 2. He'll also be in The Flash.
So you think he will be in Justice League?
Totally, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I could almost guarantee it. But
You know
I think
things.
it's a smart thing to do to save the Green Lantern standalone until you, just like you said, you're bringing in Wonder Woman with the big guns. Then you do a standalone. Green Lantern will have then had like 5 years and all these other, hopefully, amazing films to be like skimping in and out of so that you'll be demanding a Green Lantern movie. You'll be demanding to see what Oa and the Green Lantern Corps is all about when you go to the Green Lantern movie. So I think it's a really smart way to introduce it and to introduce the entire Green Lantern Corps, which I think was the one successful part of the Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds movie was
they did that well.
On Oa and how they introduced the Corps and everything about the Corps was fantastic. Everything else was what was the big problem.
Yeah,
so
I agree, but it was also quite confusing. The first movie, they had to do so much exposition at the start to try to set it up. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe if they introduce him slowly, then you get more of a sense of the whole world that he lives in.
Yeah, and also Jon Stewart, all these other characters that everyone knows who's, watches the cartoon or has read the comic book. There's a whole core. It's not just one Green Lantern. It's across the whole galaxy. So,
Okay, well, how about this? And we got a number of other movie stories we have to get to in a second, but what about this? I know some people are going to bring up some people notable by their absence. We do not see a Hawkgirl listed here anywhere. We don't see Hawkman listed anywhere. We don't see Martian Manhunter listed anywhere in all of this. You cool with those characters being omitted?
I am cool with those characters not having their own standalone movies yet. I think, I mean, Hawkman, if and when they introduce the whole idea of Thanagar and the Hawk world, I think that's something that could be done later. I mean, I don't think it's being omitted because they're like, look, 2021, we don't have to announce everything. I think all those characters will be mixed in eventually. So
I don't know enough about the comic book origins of the characters to comment about them, but I look at the slate and there's so much happening that I think they've got a ton to work on now.
Yeah, and for me personally, I've said before, it makes me very unpopular with some people. I don't like the Martian Manhunter character, never have, never found him interesting. Even in the Injustice Gods Among Us storyline, I never thought he was that interesting. So that's just me. Everybody's got some comic book characters they don't think are that interesting. Martian Manhunter just happens to be one of mine. We will keep a very close eye on this as it develops, and I'm sure we're going to have lots to talk about over the coming days and weeks and months about all this. But big play. But I will say this, going back to something you were saying about Batman Superman, I do believe we're going to see a standalone Batman and a standalone Superman movie between now and 2019. I think Warner Brothers is just saving we're going to steal the spotlight from Marvel thing again. They're going to save that announcement for the day after Marvel makes another announcement.
Right.
It's like, oh, Marvel just announced that? Batman and Superman movies, kids. Like, I think they're saving for that.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.